Welcome. Welcome to Three Keys to Unleash Your Voice. Be seen, be heard, and paid more. The last time I did this little workshop, I had COVID and was not feeling too good. So that's why I decided to do it again. But please bear with me because it could be that I'm still sort of at the tail end and I may be coughing a little. Maybe not, but I may need to cough. So I just ask for a little patience if I need to cough or take a sip of water. Anyway, yes, wonderful that you are here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, and great that we can be together today. I'm really grateful and honored to be here with you. And maybe I know there's a lot more signed up, and there'll probably be a lot more coming in. So if you've never been in an event with me before, I am really, really happy to have you here. Even if you're watching the recording for the first time, let me know where you are from. Put it into the chat or into the comment thread on Facebook. We are not live on Facebook, so I shall be putting the recording up later. And I am so glad that I get to do this with you today because Washington, D.C., I have relatives there. Great that you're there. Wonderful. Well, women have been silent, either consciously or unconsciously, for far too long. Yeah, it's still sort of in our DNA that there's some conditioning, a lot of old beliefs that hold us back from speaking up, standing up and speaking up. And there is so much. I wrote a book about it. I mean, at the beginning of COVID, the COVID pandemic, it's called Unmute Your Soul, Find Your Voice and Express Your Sacred Purpose. And what I noticed is when I was researching for the book, is that there is just so much still holding us back. And it is it is my passion and my wish that women get rid of all of this because we are so needed. We are needed everywhere. We are needed in community, in schools, in at home. We are needed at work. We are needed everywhere. We are meant to stand up and be able to express ourselves confidently. It's time to wake up to our full potential and to do what we came here to do for and what we came here to be. And maybe you feel this calling. I always feel this calling when I know that I'm coming up to a greater level, when I want to express more of myself, or there's more of my talents or my gifts want to come out. And maybe you feel it also. And it's like an urgency, and it's very real because it is the universe calling you. And I want you just to acknowledge yourself because I want to let you know your choice to be here is so important. Your choice to take the time for yourself to be here. Yeah, yes, this is time for yourself and it matters. So just place your hand on your heart and send yourself some love. And I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you, Michelle, for being here. Amazing. And let's just get the most out of this. Let's imagine that we are in a huge, big virtual room together, which we are. And just feel the presence of the other woman. And just allow yourself to be completely present here because you'll get the most out of it if you do this. So are you ready and willing and open to learn something new? Yes, great, 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 great. So I also invite you to use the chat because it can help other women. The chat will not be able to be seen in the recording. And I hope you got your workbook. Did you? Great, great, because it will help you maybe to note down some things. So I would like to begin asking you where you are right now, okay? How do you feel with voicing yourself, with expressing yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Um, if you would like to say something, you just raise your hand if you like, and you can talk. Yes, Michelle?
I don't want to mess up your recording.
Quite okay. You're not messing up anything.
Okay, that's all. No, please continue. But
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, I just want to sort of see what the weather is at present. So if there was a scale of 1 to 10, and 1 was feeling totally unconfident, and 10 was very confident in expressing yourself, where would you be?
and which do you prefer, the chat or talk? It really is up to you.
You can talk. You can talk. It's good.
Okay. Okay. Um, it's just you and I, right?
It's just you and I present, yes?
And, so I would say I am a 6 to 7. Hmm.
6 to 7.
Uh-huh.
That's quite good. Yeah.
Hmm. Sometimes I'm way up there,
Okay.
but I don't usually get below a 6, I'll say. I kind of hover right. But
Okay.
but some of those things you said in the beginning really resonate about still knowing that I'm holding back at the
Mhm.
same time. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to feel in, did you come here because you want to be able to speak up more for yourself? Or did you come here because you have issues of being seen and heard? Or did you come here because maybe you feel you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in the world?
Yes, the
Oh,
last. Hmm.
okay, good. Well, you've come to the right place. And
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you some tangible tools today. We're going to dive into 3 exercises, and I'm here to support you in unleashing your voice and becoming confident so
Hmm.
that you can get seen and heard and paid more and whatever you want, actually, because it's we create the life that we want. And this maybe there's some beliefs holding us back, some things, and just stay open to what comes up today. Okay? And please try to stay to the end, even if you're watching the recording, because you will really gain more clarity around yourself and you'll probably have some aha moments also. Okay, let me tell you a little about myself, first of all. I put on my slides again. Yep, okay. And this is me. Okay. My name is Ruth Bleakley-Thiessen. I am from Ireland, which you probably hear from my accent, from the north of Ireland, and I was there last week. I just came back 2 days ago. I support women with different methods that I have learned over the years. I am a channel. I also work with on a cellular level, on cellular healing level, um, helping women to clear their blocks, be it with their voice, with their expression, sometimes even illness, whatever is holding them back, so that they can live and express whatever they are here to express. Because each one of us, we came here for a purpose. So there is a different thing each and every one of us wants and needs to express. And I am also the founder of the Intuitive Feminine Leadership Academy, where I have practical programs to help my clients achieve the things that they want to achieve and connect with themselves on a much deeper level and get in tune with their purpose. So I am so grateful to be able to do this. And yeah, we are going to dive into 3 things today, 3 keys. The first key is our limiting beliefs. The second key is our voice story. We're going to have a look and see how it was when we were growing up and what has been holding us back. And then we are bringing on our dreams and our visions. We don't dream enough. So we're going to do that at the end and see what comes out for you. And I am so, so grateful to get to support amazing women. And I love what I do, and I feel very satisfied in doing it. I feel healthier and more comfortable in my body than I did probably 20 years ago. And I allow myself time off for self-care, but it wasn't always that way. I didn't always listen to myself. There was a time in my life where I was organizing very large holistic seminars for hundreds of people in multiple countries. The pay was good. The colleagues were amazing. It was like a family for me, and I loved to travel. I was away quite a lot, and the hours, yeah, they were long because I was responsible for everything. Um, Everything should run smoothly, and yet all of us, there was this whisper in my head that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be up on stage, but I was doing the organization, and I just kept putting it away. I put it off, and I didn't know how to stop working the way I did, and I ignored it. But this whisper, it grew louder and louder and became more and more uncomfortable. And I was stressed out and frustrated. Yeah, I got really, really frustrated, and I didn't want to admit it. And when I was off work, I had a horse just across the road from where I live. I had a horse, and I would go out for a ride on my horse to feel better. And it was one sunny, actually, it was the 9th of August, not too long ago. It was 15 years ago. It was just after the fields had been harvested. And I saddled up my horse and rode out of the village I lived in. And maybe you know that horses are extremely sensitive to their riders. They sense stress, they sense anger, they sense sadness, they sense everything. And I could feel that my horse had picked up on my stress. And I just got out of the village and he bucked, and he had never bucked before. I mean, I had this horse for years and we were a good team. And he bucked and he galloped off across the field, yoo-hoo, so sort of thing. And when he bucked, my saddle slipped. I hadn't pulled it up, tightened it. So I was hanging on to the side like this and thinking, okay, you are not going to be able to get up again, so you're going to fall off. So what felt like real slow motion, I did fall off and I landed so hard. My body told me not to move. Something was wrong. Something was really wrong. So I had my phone in my pocket and I called my girlfriend who I'd seen when I rode out of the village. And she came, she called the ambulance, caught my horse and brought him back to the stables. I was given an injection to put me out so that they could move me. And later, when I woke up in hospital, they told me that I had broken my spine. So suddenly, I had to wear this corset from the top of my legs, from my hips, right up to here, to keep me together. It held me together. I didn't need an operation, but I felt so stuck. And when I wasn't wearing the corset, which wasn't very comfortable, I had to lie in bed. And I was in pain, real pain, and I felt powerless. And I knew I wasn't going back to work. I couldn't work. I couldn't even cook for my children. I couldn't do anything at all. So I spent basically 1 year recovering from this. And I was so scared that I would end up in a wheelchair. Um, it almost drove me crazy, lying in bed for most of the time. I'm not that type of person. I need to be doing something. And I was really scared to move a lot. Anyway, after that long year of healing, I was willing to go back to work, but someone else had taken over my job, obviously, and she didn't want to give it back. So I had a lot of time to think, and I realized how much I had changed in that time. And I wondered, well, what should I be doing now? And I tried to look for myself, and it it was difficult. So I gathered together three of my most wisest, most intelligent girlfriends, and we were like a team, and they helped me to get through this and to find out what it was I needed to change in my life. What was it that I hadn't been listening to? What was it that needed to be expressed through me? And I have this deeply intuitive side to me, which I had ignored for a long time. And I had a desire that had been brewing for a long time. And I wanted to reclaim my confidence and find my next steps. And that's when I decided it was time to focus on a project to support women to unleash their voices, to help them stop keeping themselves small and invisible, stop trying to fit in, and to unleash their full potential and listen and trust what they have to say from deep inside of their hearts and souls. So I founded my Intuitive Feminine Leadership Academy, which has helped many women already. I got my confidence back and I started a new chapter in my life. And after the accident, my relationship to horse riding changed a little. I never rode out again on my own. I did with other people, but I found that the joy I had got from riding my horse, I now got from facilitating women's circles and coaching women with these cellular healing techniques that I had and empowerment training. And time after time, women were able to transform in amazing ways and become really confident in speaking in a way they never knew before. And really, I honor my horse as one of my greatest teachers who brought me to this moment. He isn't living anymore. He died 3 years ago, just of old age on his own, and it was yeah. But only if I had listened earlier, maybe I wouldn't have needed the accent. And now life is so good. I get to support others like I always wanted to. And I am expressive, I'm creative, and I work in my own time from wherever I want. There is no stress anymore. And I listen to what my heart and soul tells me. So I am excited to share these same exercises with you today. Exercises I still use every day. And believe me, we are much more powerful than we think we are. We have much more potential than we think we have. Yeah. And if I can do this, then you can do this too. So I'm going to share 3 keys for you to unleash your voice. And either raise your hand or pop a yes in the chat if you're ready to dive in. Great, great. So yes, let's take a deep breath in, first of all. Maybe even raise our hands above our head and get ready for the first step, for the first key. Yeah, great. So today we are looking at our key number 1, which is our limiting beliefs. Okay. Limiting beliefs. Okay. And we all have limiting beliefs. We think when we get rid of one, um, it's done, but it's not really because you are really a complex system of feelings. We all are. We're human beings, but we're not just bones and tissues and blood and feelings. We also have a lot of beliefs stored in the cells in our bodies. And there's also maybe even a vow that we have told ourselves that may come up for you as well, because this is possible. Vows are extremely strong things that we have, and sometimes they need to be released. So we'll see what comes up for you today. And you also have your own special conditioning. Each and every one of us has a sort of a map, which we have made up of our values and memories of the places we grew up in. There's religious conditioning, family conditioning, social conditioning, gender conditioning, lots of different types of religious conditioning. We also have a lot of conditioning that we have grown up with, which can delete, distort, generalize things which other people see completely differently than we have. So we're all very individual. And beliefs are very powerful things, especially limiting beliefs, as our vows, if we take, a marriage vow is very, very strong. And sometimes even after a divorce or someone dies, a partner dies, the vow is still there, and sometimes it needs to be released to let go and to move on. It's be conscious or even unconscious. And vows can be marriage vows or something you've sworn to yourself for some reason. They unconsciously keep us stuck in many areas of our lives. And the reality is that a limiting belief is simply, it's your truth at that time until you recognize it's limiting. It's then that you are ready to change it. And it takes sort of a special kind of a mental dance to step outside of yourself to see what's holding you back. And it takes a special kind of a process to remove limiting vows and beliefs out of your system. But it is very, very liberating to do so. And it will propel you forward in your life. And we all try to fit in, but the lens you view yourself through, it's colored by all of these things, your upbringing, your beliefs, your experiences. And it can be a struggle that keeps us small. Yeah. It can be a struggle where we feel shame or where there is fear which comes up for us, maybe fear of not being accepted or not being loved. But this can also come from different past experiences, even childhood trauma, which we are holding in the cells of our bodies. We can get to the memories, these cell memories in our bodies, and clear it all out. It's amazing what we can do nowadays. So, feeling uncomfortable isn't what we want, of course. It's not what we need. And our soul and our heart actually desires to know ourselves. Um, so it can be uncomfortable for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, but it's just an indicator that you are once again approaching the edge of change and even, yeah, growth, even greater consciousness. And it also signals that you are faced with the choice of showing up as more of you. And it's always a choice that we have, do I choose fear or do I choose myself? And it is a huge gift when we get to this point. So, before we go into this exercise, my suggestion to you is to expand yourself energetically. Just imagine that you are going to crack through a shell, you know? This is so important. A bird cannot fly until it breaks the shell to be born. A butterfly cannot fly until it breaks through the cocoon. And we cannot live life fuller until we break open our own personal shell. And breaking free from limiting beliefs is the same. Even if resistance comes up, can be, yeah. I know this from my own work and from my own experience. So, Let's begin. Let's take out our paper or our workbook and let's start bringing up all these negative beliefs we have about our voices. So here are a couple of questions I would like you to ask yourself. What is it you're telling yourself about being expressive? Are you afraid of judgment or rejection? Maybe there's a belief you're holding from your upbringing. Or maybe you're scared of being different or rocking the boat. Maybe there's some self-doubt within yourself or something different. How does it make you feel whenever you think of standing up and speaking up for yourself completely? Okay, so let's see what came up for you. I always get, when I think of expressing myself fully, that I'm too much, I'm too intensive. But I've learned to take away the word too. So I can be intensive, yes. And also came up for me is that girls are to be silent. I heard that a lot when I was growing up. If you would like to share something, I would love to hear. You can put it in the chat, or you can do whatever you feel you want to do. Ah,
I'll just talk if that's all right.
yes, please do. Yeah, it's
Or,
great.
Mhm.
Love to hear you.
So the word that comes to mind is to be first accommodating. So kind of
Mhm.
tolerance, and then it's okay to speak up later. So in
Mm.
terms of expressing, it's not that um I wasn't taught not to express myself, but to do it in a very sort of tamed manner, which
Mm. Mm.
uh,
Yeah, yeah, I can relate to that. Yes, definitely. Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah, so just feel into that, just feel how that has kept you back. And maybe there's something came up. Be tolerant, you said. Just ask yourself, where does this come from? It could be from your parents or your grandparents, or maybe a teacher, or from society or your culture. Maybe it's not yours at all. And just write this down after the belief. Because when you acknowledge this, it helps you to let it go. I know this didn't come from me. The girls are to be silent. I heard that from my parents and my grandparents too. Yeah, the idea that my voice counts, but my voice doesn't come first. A lot of women have that. Yep. I mean, I grew up sandwiched between two boys. My voice wasn't important at all. It seemed to be, that what men had to say were just completely, it just mattered a lot more than what women had to say. And this is changing. Thank goodness this is changing. Well, thank you very much for that. And it will work on you. But I would like to move on because I see our time is continuing. I would like to go into key number 2, which is our voice story. Okay, I always wanted my voice to matter, but there was this feeling that it didn't matter. As I said, I grew up between two brothers, and I've always, over the course of my life, been in an environment where the males were more dominant than the females. I grew up in a street where there was no girls to play with. I had to play with the boys. Um, there were two brothers, and whenever I had my own children, I had three boys. So I've always been in male energy, and in a way, it was like the voices of women seemed to be missing. Even though women were leaders in their own roles, but their voices just didn't seem to be. They seemed to be put behind the shadow of the male energy. Although no one openly put down women in my family, but there was always this feeling the males were better, that they were able to say what they wanted, and that mattered a lot more. So what happened was, like many girls and women I was with, I automatically embodied an attitude of sort of living in a shadow I couldn't put my finger on. And there was always this sort of a knot in my throat where my silence was stuck. Yeah. Um, it was like a big lid to press down everything I needed to say or wanted to say for a long, long time anyway. Um, but it kept me safe. It kept me acceptable. It kept me convenient when there was so many things that I wanted to scream about. It also robbed me of a lot of moments of joy and connection because I didn't say what I should have said. It's been like sort of an invisible cloak where I could put it around myself and sort of disappear when I felt it was much easier to disappear than being um, being seen in all of my greatness because I thought I was imperfect, undeserving, ashamed, and somehow broken, although I couldn't put my finger on why. And growing up, I had all these unspoken contracts, which didn't allow me to offend anyone. I was told as a child that I should be quiet. I was taught to bypass painful topics and avoid potential conflict just to keep the peace and to become my full self. I had to break them and go off and forge my own path. But this was when I was an adult. And women do shrink and shrivel, and we keep ourselves small when we hold back the truth that needs to be spoken. And then it leaves us feeling discontented and suffocated and false and imprisoned and angry and disappointed and feeling that our life is being wasted. Yet there's always this underlying feeling that something meaningful wants to rise and be expressed through our being. And it doesn't matter if you're a creative person or if you're not a creative person. It's important to express yourself, to have a fulfilled life. And not only that, when we are able to express ourselves and share our truth and our purpose, we have the power to awaken and energize and move other women to do the same because we give them the permission to do the same. So I want to dive into another practical exercise now. I want you to just imagine yourself going back to the time when you were a child and see what comes up for you. What was said about your voice and about speaking up for yourself? And how did that make you feel? How did it affect you? What came up for me is just having been in Ireland, where I come from, um, is that it is very clear to me um, that women held themselves back there. It's a cultural thing. Um, we weren't allowed to speak for a long time, especially not in church. We had to wait until we went outside church to be able to say one word at all, which isn't so long ago. It wasn't so long ago that we weren't able to own land for ourselves. We weren't able to vote. We weren't able to work without asking permission from our fathers or husbands. We weren't we weren't allowed to get married without our fathers being asked permission. So we weren't allowed to speak up for a long time, and it seems still to be ingrained in our DNA, and it's time to stop. It has to stop. Um, it isn't as bad as it used to be, but there is still something there. So it seems so unfair to me. It always was unfair, and it's just, I still can't get my head around it that it even happened, that women were put in their places and kept small. It's anyway. That is what came up for me. If you have anything you would like to share, and please do so. As a child, I was encouraged to be myself and unique. Great. It was always complimentary, but also taught me I might never fit in. Yeah,
So that's conflicting because it's like, you're different, you're different, you're different. But
yeah,
then you don't always want to hear that you're different.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it is beautiful that you are encouraged to be different and to be yourself. Because there's so many women, they still try to fit in, they and that really makes me angry when I see women trying to fit in. So yeah, but it is there's two sides to that. Yeah. You might never belong, do you mean? Is this, yeah, okay. Mm. Okay, so let's work on that. Let's transform what came up for you to an empowering message and reframe it and picture yourself, for example, being yourself and totally unique with confidence, and see if you can do that. Just transform the scenario, reframe it. Maybe there's an empowering message you need to hear, or you need to tell yourself. Okay. Just acknowledge yourself for that, because it's something huge which you have just done. So, what came up for me is that women are just as important as men and have different things to say, which affect the family and the community and even world peace. I got a message once when I was out walking, that there will only be peace in the world when the women start to express themselves more. And it could be true. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Well done. So we've got to key number three. We have done our limiting beliefs. We have looked at our voice story just briefly, but there's things that came up for us. So now I would like us to own our dreams and our visions, the things that we have for ourselves. So we don't dream enough, and we should. And when I say dream, it's like, whenever a little 3-year-old dreams, we don't tell the 3-year-old, well, that's not going to come true. You're not going to be president, or you're not going to do this or that. So we should dream more, because this is part of us. It's part of us that needs to be heard. And it's not up to us how things happen or don't happen. But bringing up these parts of ourselves is so important. So we're going to give ourselves permission today to dream. We're going to try to close the gap from where you now are and where you would like to be. I have been courageous many times in my life. I've stepped up onto stages at seminars and led the participants, and you too can affirm your capacity for courage. You can summon this up and make a vision or dreams for yourself, and just connect to the depth of your inner being and allow it just to flow out of the depth of your being, and just trust in this connection, the connection to your inner wisdom, because women are strongly connected to their inner wisdom. And I want you to have a conversation with your future self. I want you to envision manifesting your true voice with the impact and the expertise you want to have. Yeah. And I want you to allow this part of yourself to speak to yourself. And if you like, you can write a letter from your future self to your present self with a lot of advice and guidance in what you want. So we're going to go into a dream phase, first of all. And see what comes up for you. And whenever you feel ready, you can start writing. You can start writing, dear Ruth, or dear Michelle, whatever comes up for you, with advice and guidance from your future self, from this dreamer, and what she would like to do. Just feel what is keeping you stuck, and just feel what it's like not to do this. Yeah, this is a powerful exercise, and maybe you would like to continue it afterwards. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I would just want to say that we spend our whole lives keeping ourselves small. Just, I want you just to let that in because the first time I heard that, it was like, wow, that is a huge truth. We do spend our whole lives keeping ourselves small. We have so many, our ego has so many possibilities to put the lid on ourselves, to keep ourselves small, and we don't need to do it because we are limitless beings. We only limit ourselves. We are much greater than anything that we can imagine. We are all embodiments of energy that has never been here before, really unique. And the only way out of keeping ourselves small is going inward, which requires a set of tools and practices. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you about one of my clients. I am allowed to tell you this. Let's call her Linda, which is not her name. In our first session, Linda, she was a very shy and timid woman. In what she told me, she was always the one who stayed in the background and almost never spoke up in conversations. She was very quiet, but she opened up a lot more during our session, and I was completely overwhelmed by this beautiful and fascinating woman sitting in front of me. And she explained that as the youngest of four children, she was never taken seriously. She had very loud brothers and sisters, and they always took over the conversation and gave her little space to say anything. And as she grew older, she created a rather limiting image of herself, which meant that she became shy in groups, she avoided the spotlight, she hated confrontation. And in our sessions, she realized that she was so much more than that. And she may be shy at times, but she can also be very loud whenever she has the feeling that she's safe. So over time, something wonderful began to happen. Not only did she feel better, but her mind began to change. She spoke up more in conversations with colleagues, and she even cracked a joke now and then. The biggest gain was her new attitude in the moments when she wasn't doing so well. She began to be a lot kinder to herself when she felt that others weren't listening or responding to her. She usually had the thought, oh, no one's listening to me. I wish I had more interesting things to say, or this gave way. She thought, well, I thought what I had to say was very interesting, and I was able to speak up for myself. I was able to say the truth, what I really meant. And maybe they didn't understand me, but who knows? I'll just do it again and again and again. And she did. And she got all this practical exercise. She became really good at standing up for herself, and she became seen and heard, and she wasn't invisible anymore. So let's recap this. We had three keys to unleash our voice, which were the limiting beliefs, our voice story, and the dreams and visions that are pushing us forward. And you can reinvent yourself. You have an amazing ability to transform and to heal. Your cells are continuously changing from one cell generation to the next. We change every single day, every single minute. And when you clear out the root causes of your blocks, you can be free to express what only you can. And I have the tools you need to do this. We are not meant to do these things alone. We all have our blind spots. I also need help. And some things need to be cleared out at a very deep cellular level. So if I can do it, if Linda can do it, you can do it too. Now is your time. So let me ask you, what are you taking away with you today? Last exercise was very eye-opening. I'm so grateful for that you have an eye-opening experience. That's wonderful. What is it you're taking away with you today?
Several of the questions I'll come back to.
Yeah,
Like, it was very eye-opening to go through those exercises initially, and I can see. I don't know if you said you do it every day or you go through you still practice these things
I
routinely.
do.
I
I
can
do.
see how it continue to kind of open up.
Okay,
Very,
great.
very good questions and exercises.
Okay, wonderful. I'll send you the replay anyway, and you can keep doing them. So, thank you so much for going on this journey with me today. If you feel the call to go deeper and have a look at maybe which blocks and limitations that you have, and to see where you would like to be, or if you even feel that this is resonating with you, if you feel stirred by my words, if you're a woman who wants more confidence, if you know this is the time for you to express yourself in alignment with your purpose, maybe if you know that there's more of you that wants to come through you out into the world. And let me tell you more. It would be my honor to spend 30 minutes with you in a confidence breakthrough session. And in this session, we will take a look at where you now stand, where you would like to be, and we will create a small mini plan for you to take away so that you can start to do this immediately. And if we feel that we are a good fit to work together, we can discuss that also, but there's no stress. If not, no worries. We will remain friends. And this is completely free of charge. And I know that this is possible for each and every single woman. It's never been so needed. We need strong women using their voices in our homes, in our communities, at school, at work, in government. And I'm here to be an ally around the world right now. And it's time to be bold and to be empowered. So I'm going to recommend that you grab a free confidence breakthrough session with me. I shall put the link in the chat. There you go. Okay, and I shall also get my slides up again so that people on the recording can see this also. Just a second, bear with me because it's all gone haywire here. I have to share this again. Okay, so we got through these and that. So here's the link. Ruth-coaching.youcanbook.me, and there are the times when I'm available, and you can choose a time which suits yourself. And if there's not a time which suits you because of a time difference, then just mail me and we will find a time. So that's no problem at all. Okay, right. Oh, we got through it. I thank you so much for listening. Thank you for staying till the end. Be bold, be brilliant, be empowering, and I shall turn off the recording now. And if there are any questions you would like to ask, then just stay on and we can go through them. Okay, just a second. Thank you.